You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a former National Security Agency employee was sentenced Tuesday to nearly 6 years in prison for keeping classified information in his home. Ngia Hoang Pho was sentenced up to 66 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release for the willful retention of classified national defense information after he removed massive troves of highly classified national defense information without authorization and stored it at his home in Maryland, according to the Department of Justice. Assistant Attorney General for National Security John C. Deemers said Pho's intentional, reckless, and illegal retention of highly classified information over the course of almost 5 years placed at risk our intelligence community's capabilities and methods, rendering some of them unusable. Pho worked as a developer in tailored access operations at the NSA beginning in 2006 and held various clearances, including top secret and top secret sensitive compartmented information. During his time with the NSA, he worked on highly classified specialized projects and had access to national defense and classified information. He also received training about the proper handling, marking, transportation, and storage of information, was warned of the consequences of unauthorized treatment of the materials, and signed numerous non-disclosure agreements stating he understood the conditions. Pho's plea agreement stated he removed and held U.S. government property, including documents and writings that contained national defense information classified as top secret and SCI in both hard copy and digital forms in his home, with the knowledge that he was not authorized to do so. U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, Robert K. Herr, said removing and retaining such highly classified material displays a total disregard of Pho's oath and promise to protect our nation's national security. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Bill Cosby was marched out of court in shackles on Tuesday after a judge branded him a predator and sentenced him to between 3 and 10 years in prison for sexual assault, capping the downfall of the once beloved comedian known as America's Dad. Cosby was found guilty in April of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault for the drugging and sexual assault of his one-time friend, Andrea Constand, a former Temple University administrator, at his Philadelphia home in 2004. He is the first celebrity to be convicted of sexual abuse since the start of the Me Too movement, the national reckoning with misconduct that has brought down dozens of powerful men in entertainment, politics, and other fields. Cosby must spend at least 3 years in Pennsylvania prison before he becomes eligible for supervised release, though he could end up behind bars for up to a decade. Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas Judge Stephen O'Neill ordered Cosby to be jailed immediately, denying Cosby's request for bail while lawyers appeal the conviction. He was escorted out of the back of the courthouse with his hands and feet shackled and driven away in a black SUV. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter. He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
He has to make a burrow in a tree stump. That's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the second time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in lines here momentarily, where you can call in to join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Conan.
And Ian will be here at some point. He's actually at a city council hearing right now, where the local city council is talking about whether or not to consider a future ordinance at some future point that would, if adopted, increase the minimum age for smoking tobacco products.
Yeah, they're actually
from 18 to 21.
They're actually dealing with one of our local busybodies. The problem is that I fear a lot of our council members are in that same department, busybodies themselves.
Of course they are.
This is something that they'll want to jump all over. Never mind the fact that at 18, you could go register to vote.
Right, but at 18, you can't buy alcohol.
Never mind the fact that you can strap a rifle on your back and go travel overseas and kill people.
Yep, but you can't rent a car.
Spreading democracy. It's very difficult.
You're also a child for the purposes of health insurance, so therefore we know better than you, Conan.
Yep. And it's very difficult for an 18-year-old to do pretty much anything these days. I know back in my day, that was, when I was starting out, that was 20 years ago, trying to rent an apartment or, get a car, get any kind of anything that had involved debt. There's like, no, we're not going to deal with you at all. We need a co-signer. And so, yet, here we are considering raising the age on these people, making it even harder for
these
kids.
People that a lot of them, college students that are going into, mentioning debt, they're going into tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Yep, they can go into debt. They can't smoke.
Can't go pick up. And a lot of, these late teens, the 18, 19-year-olds, they're not even getting the cigarettes. They're getting the vapes. And
that is the worst part about this. It is not just tobacco products. It is the vape. And a lot of people are using this as an alternative.
Correct.
To not kill themselves with nicotine tobacco that gets in your lungs and stays there. Now the question is the vaping safe? And I know that there's some of these. Some
people say it is. Some people say it's not. Well,
some of these chemicals, I think, like a lot of the candy flavors, it has been. I pretty much proven that there are carcinogens in them that don't agree with your body, and you probably shouldn't be inhaling them.
And
but a lot of it's basically just water.
And speaking of the flavors, and we will go to the phones here in just a second. Speaking of the flavors, I know the FDA has been talking about maybe putting in some kind of federal prohibition against the flavored juices that go in, whether you make it yourself at home or not. They don't want you to have the flavors because, flavors encourage underage people to use. Yeah,
and they're also trying to outlaw kratom, which is a great way for opiate users to get off of whatever substance they're abusing. And yet the FDA is trying to make that a Schedule 1.
I know that they discussed that, and then I thought they moved against actually doing that, but people are still saying they're trying to.
Oh, they want
because they talked about it one time and then didn't make a decision.
This is a reoccurring conversation they're having. They're trying to make it happen.
Let's go to the phones. We've got Temper calling in from Georgia, listening to LRN.FM. Temper, you're on the phone. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead with your thoughts, Temper.
Can you hear us?
Temper in Georgia going once.
Can he hear us?
Temper in Georgia going twice.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we have been hearing you. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay. Basically, I've been living in Missouri, and I got sued by Bank of America for credit card debt, and I countersued them because they prevented me from registering my car. And long story short, the judge is basically claiming that I don't have any pro se rights, and he's talking about conservatorship, basically to deny my ability to represent myself in a civil matter.
Hold on. So how is a credit card company preventing you from registering your car? That's what I don't understand here.
Well, I had the same bank for both my auto loan and my credit card. So they sued me on the credit card, and that saved me the $300 or $400 to file. So I turned around and I countersued because when I went to register my car, Missouri's kind of backwards at a lot of things. They require you to have your title to register your car, but the bank requires you to surrender your title as collateral for the loan.
Yeah, but don't they usually give you a backup? I mean, giving you proof that you are in fact paying off the car? I had one when I was paying off my truck many years ago.
No, actually, they don't give you anything. They don't give you like a substitute.
Okay, so when you go, all right,
like
so if you're in Missouri and you go to register your vehicle, what do you take as proof that you're trying to pay the truck off?
Nothing. You don't have the title. You don't even have proof that you own the vehicle.
Well, technically, if you have a loan on something, you don't own the vehicle. The bank owns the vehicle.
Right.
I see what you mean in a practical sense, but strictly speaking, legally, you own the vehicle because the bank doesn't want liability for the vehicle. So, like, if the bank actually owned the vehicle and you didn't have insurance and you crashed it into something, then the bank would be liable, especially like if you were drunk. You know?
Well, that's why banks require you to have insurance so that they're not liable.
Yeah, not just insurance, but full insurance on many vehicles, depending on how much you owe.
Are saying, and it makes sense on a practical sense, but legally it is my car.
All right. So anyway, you had a bank loan and a credit card through the same bank. You sued the bank because they said that you defaulted on one of the two, and then you tried to register a vehicle and you didn't have whatever paperwork the DMV wanted, and then the judge said that you can't represent yourself. So I'm trying to figure out how all of these things are mixing in together.
Yeah, I'm trying to fit like 5 hours of talking in 15 seconds. But basically the way it works is they hold the title, and they're supposed to surrender it so that you can move. Well, they didn't do that, and they wouldn't do that. So there's kind of like a backup way to register your car in Missouri. So you go down there without a title or anything, and you have to show your registration from the other state, proof of insurance, and all that stuff.
Right.
And so I did that, and then I called the bank and said, well, I've registered it in Missouri, so now you have to send them the title. Well, they just flat out refused. They said I had to mail them something, a letter stating that. So I said, well, where do I mail it to? And they said, well, you should know that. So we were going back and forth, and I basically decided, well, since they're not cooperating with me, I called my insurance company and just tried to transfer my insurance to Missouri. Well, they wouldn't let me online because the title was still in Georgia. So what I did was I went to an agent, and he did it all, and then I got insurance through Missouri, which, because of what you were saying, they require insurance. The law requires the insurance company to notify the lien holder, like if you cancel your insurance.
Right.
And then you get a nasty letter in the mail saying that if you don't get insurance immediately, they're going to charge you like $800 a month for insurance that doesn't even cover you.
Right. So, Temper, good luck with whatever this legal problem is that you're having. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. Not sure if he was looking for legal advice, but we're not lawyers.
We're not lawyers.
We can't give it. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That is how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The guest in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Conan.
And want to let you know before we get back to the phones that Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things that you were going to buy anyway when you shop using saveatpurse.com. I've actually got an order right now that I'm tracking. It just wound up getting shipped, and hopefully will wind up arriving fairly quickly. It's actually shipping from China, and I know sometimes those things are fast and sometimes not so much, but once the item arrives, I'm saving 20%. So what you do is you add items to your cart, you fund your account, you select the discount, and then you save. Saveatpurse.com. That's save at purse. Save at purse, all one word, saveatpurse.com. Let's go back to the phones where we've got who I believe to be Dave Ridley calling in from somewhere in New Hampshire. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, have you guys been paying attention to what happened recently? Candidate Carla Garrick in New Hampshire?
Dave, whatever phone you were calling in on has a very bad connection. You're kind of breaking up. I think you mentioned Carla Garrick.
Oh, well, I guess I better make it quick then. Apparently, she has won fusion status. She has won the nomination for both the Libertarian and the Republican parties.
Yeah, so I actually did follow that, and I'm not sure if there's more that you want to add to this, but I can explain it fairly quickly. New Hampshire has this limited version of fusion that I like to refer to as forced fusion, meaning that a political party has no ability to reject a candidate that gets fused during a primary.
Explain fused.
Right, so fusion is when a political candidate gets the nomination of more than one political party. So in this case, Carla Garrick, former president of the Free State Project, is running for state senate. She filed as a Republican, and she wound up finding enough people to get Libertarian ballots and then write her name in as a Libertarian for state senate. And there was actually an interesting thing to where one of the wards in Manchester wound up on election night saying that there were a certain number of write-in votes, but then when they turned in the totals to the Secretary of State,
no indication.
They showed that there was one write-in vote for Carla Garrick.
Yep.
And she knew that there were more write-in votes in that ward, so she requested a recount. There was a recount, and then somehow they magically found 28 write-in votes in this particular ward.
Wow.
And that wound up being enough, once added with the other wards, that was enough to get her the minimum number of votes required to wind up being the Libertarian nominee plus the Republican nominee. So she will now be on the ballot twice.
And will she, and those both parts of the ballot, both indications, she'll be, those votes will be tallied.
Correct.
So she'll get all the
right,
Republicans.
And that's the way it works in other states with fusion. So in New York, which is another state with fusion, although theirs is slightly different, the Democratic guy, Cuomo, I think he's got 3 or 4 ballot lines. They will add all of those up on election night.
How does he get 3 or 4?
Because New York has some really weird, goofy laws that basically in most states with fusion, the Republicans and Democrats create a bunch of extra parties so that they get a bunch of extra ballot lines. Dave, any more thoughts?
Well, it's interesting how, again, there's this pattern that seems to be emerging of just, the establishment bureaucracy just figuring out all kinds of ways to pretend that the Libertarian Party doesn't exist. It's becoming pretty unusually blatant now with the Libertarian Party being so active.
Right, and we're seeing this not only in New Hampshire, and Dave, thank you for the call, but also in Iowa, where the Libertarian for governor out there is polling at 7%, and the major media is coming up with all of these rules, setting thresholds just above whatever he's at for debate inclusion. WMUR, which is the TV station in New Hampshire, released their criteria today, saying that candidates have to reach 12% in polls, where, by the way, Libertarians aren't actually being included in any of the recent polling that has been done, and they're also setting fundraising minimums.
And speaking of local media, Ian Freeman, running for state senate here in New Hampshire, was just informed yesterday that he had not received the local paper's candidates questionnaire.
No, he got the questionnaire.
Finally?
No, he got that a couple months ago. No, it was a invite to meet with the editorial board.
Interesting. But the other candidates, the Democrat and the Republican, did receive invites.
Yes. And the Libertarian candidate for governor got the invite to meet with the editorial board. So it's one of those things.
Do you think the guy just forgot, or he just thinks, is it just...
It could just be something where it got lost in the mail. This is one of those things to where, what's the rule about never attribute to malice what could be attributed to oversight?
I wouldn't doubt malice for a second.
I would not be surprised either way, but considering that other Libertarian candidates did get the invite to the editorial board, it leads me towards possibly it got lost in the mail, possible oversight, something.
Well, I mean, right after the general election, the primary,
right.
Reading some of the articles here in this state regarding who won the governor's positions,
right?
Hardly any mention of the Libertarian Jarvis, excuse me. But whole paragraphs full of what the Democrat, what Sununu has done, and what the Democrat, the opposing Democrat, has done.
The local newspaper in Keene, New Hampshire, where we're broadcasting from, they actually have done some good reporting on the Libertarians. The two largest papers in the state, not so much. The broadcast television station in the state, not so much. So,
do you think it has anything to do with there are so many Libertarians here in Keene, and they know that the local paper knew that they would be called on it if they didn't report on this? Or
it's possible.
Or do you think the fact that freekeene.com is right here in Keene, and I know the police department gets a lot of information from that website.
I think it's very possible that the local media here where we are, they knew that if they don't cover this, somebody else will.
Yep.
Whereas the outlets in Manchester and Concord,
not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450 free. And coming up, apparently some bus drivers aren't happy that robots are taking their job. Fight for 15, am I right? Fight for 15. Is this what Fight for 15 looks like, where robots take your job and then you go get mad because a robot took your job because you priced yourself out of the market because
it's their fault.
You've got the Transportation Workers Union behind you? 855-450 free. 855-450-3733.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Ever wonder how Bitcoin and Ethereum were created? Vercel Media has helped hundreds of companies and individuals make their own cryptocurrency. Decentralized blockchain solutions are making the world more transparent and giving power back to the people. Vercel Media has helped companies raise tens of millions in the past year alone, structuring and marketing ICOs to the thirsty crypto public worldwide. Don't miss the cryptocurrency revolution. Visit vercelmedia.com, VERCEL media.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free call-in line where you can call in and join us. We also have 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 Discord call-in lines. Conan, you use the Discord occasionally, right?
I'm on it right now. Not a whole lot.
Shouldn't be on it during the show, but what is the Discord?
It is a online platform developed to bring the community together. It's a chat. It is I use it for gaming. It's a perfect platform for gamers who want to get involved with their game mates to have a chat. But we're using it actually as a radio call-in option,
right? And
because that, I think that was even I don't know how that was developed during the good old days of early days of Discord.
Yeah, I know that there's an organization that I'm involved with that they use Discord for conference calls.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be Skype, and Skype is a thing of the past. Discord has moved in, and it's just so much more. There are so many more options. Versatile is the word. I mean, because all of the chatting, the text chatting remains available. You can set up
multiple chat rooms, we do have, and you can find all of that discord.lrn.fm.
Get on there.
discord.lrn.fm. Let's go back to the phones, and then we will get into the bus driver story where they're not happy that robots are taking their job.
Took my job.
Let's go to Joshua calling in from Oklahoma. Joshua, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Oh, hello. So I'm trying to catch up on podcasts right now, so I'm kind of behind. And this was probably talked about like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's fine. Just go ahead with your thought.
But is it all right if I've got like 2 or 3 questions if I can?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ask the most important first.
Okay. So the first one, you guys were talking about how governments will arbitrarily set speed limits on a given road or whatever, right? Well, at least for my state, I know that as an engineer, we actually will design a road for a certain speed, and then they set it a little bit lower just for a factor of safety. So we design a road for the 85th percentile of kind of what we expect
Yep, that's what I've always been told, and I think that when we had this discussion, and discussion could have been had on a night that I wasn't on, or maybe we didn't hit this minutia, but I had always been told that the speed limit should be the 85th percentile, but the vast majority of times the local government or state government, whichever government it is that sets the speed limit, will set it at about the 50th percentile.
I mean, I will say that, like, the ones that I've sat in on, whenever we actually do a design and we set a speed limit, that it is at the 85th percentile, like, most of the time. But I will say that local governments, I have also sat in on meetings where a local government felt the need, let's say, to lower it.
Right, because they otherwise won't get as much revenue if they set the speed limit at the 85th percentile.
Yeah, do you think that's really what it's all about? I haven't ever heard them admit that.
Of course they're not going to admit that it's about the money. They say it's about safety.
Right.
Well, usually I will say, because like we do traffic studies, and so when we go and we look at a particular intersection that it's had like X amount of traffic accidents, and then they'll go in and either they'll talk about putting in an extra light or an extra signalized intersection or whatever it might be, but sometimes they will. And I have seen some of the statistics. There's one in Oklahoma. Say again?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, or they'll post an advisory speed.
Now they just redid a lot of roads here in New Hampshire. We are notorious for having bad roads in the spring because the winter just chews them up.
Right.
There are some roads that are labeled at 30. They've just repaved them, and I swear just the other day I was doing 70 on a road that was labeled at 30. And I looked down at my speedometer, didn't realize how fast I was going, and because it was just that smooth. I mean, I was easily going that, and I could have gone faster. What's up with that?
Sometimes it's not so much the smoothness, but you've got sight radius and everything like that. So if you crest a curve, if there's an intersection on the other side of that curve or that hill or whatever, can you see the intersection soon enough to be able to stop?
Right.
So you have like horizontal curves and vertical curves that you have to worry about.
Right, and I'm not arguing that there are intersections and hidden driveways and all that, but the road itself was developed enough that I could speed up very, very rapidly and for a good long time. So
and be able to see everything properly. In that case,
well, I do a lot of driving, so I consider myself a pretty decent driver.
I would say that generally speaking, in those cases, if there isn't any kind of sight alignment issue, then it might just be probably a local government thing. They decide that they want to have I would say in that particular case, you have a local government that wants to have theirs arbitrarily set low.
Right.
In some instances, if it's like near a bus stop, then they'll do that. But if it isn't that, then it's arbitrary.
Yeah. Josh, any further thoughts?
On a different subject, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
So, again, recent like a podcast a while ago, I know someone on the show was talking about saying that there was no need for like a standing army, and they were using the incident of 9/11, how everybody was signing up and trying to join up as kind of basis that when the need arises, people will kind of answer the call.
I don't recall that conversation, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen on the show.
Didn't the same thing happen at the advent of World War I, where just everyone and their sister's brother wanted to go and fight?
Well, I mean, I believe that World War I, most everybody was drafted, I think.
Not World War, I don't think so.
I think World War II, everybody, was happy to join up pretty much. But my argument was going to be that, at least in today's kind of warfare, that if the Russians were to be invading, that you don't want everybody to be, and I'm just using the Russians as, Yeah,
you don't really think they're going to invade us, do you?
No, not at all.
Or North Korea.
No,
or Iran.
They're all smart enough, but if they were, like, okay, let's say that we disbanded our standing army, then at that point in time, they might be brave enough. And not even the army necessarily, but what I was going to say was that, like, it's kind of one of those things, you don't want your heart surgeon to be training to be your heart surgeon the moment you need them. You want them to already be trained. So having a standing army is, the idea is having them trained to be ready to defend our country. I mean, putting everything aside about them invading other countries and everything like that.
Here is my defense
and
to
Conan,
that argument.
you were in the military.
I was in the military. If we are actually defending this soil, this country, why are we on the other side of the globe helping prop up dictators to keep their people in line? Why are we defending resources that don't belong to us when, in fact, we should be here in this country defending this soil? I mean, there's almost close to 900 bases all around the world, and trillions of dollars spent. Almost, it's $700 billion a year now. The budget for our stupid military, $700 billion.
And that's just the military budget. That's not counting other things like the VA that winds up treating the people in the military.
And we don't even know where most of that money's going because there's no accountability. So, I mean, no. I mean, we're not defending.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, so I agree with your premise on that, but I don't think that negates the argument for having a standing army. I'm not saying that our current mode of being with our military is the proper way to be. I'm just saying that the argument that we don't have a need for a standing army.
There's a famous quote out there, which is not, from what I understand, the general didn't actually say it, but it was concerning the Japanese invading this country, and he said, "Behind every blade of grass, there's a rifle. The Japanese will never invade this country because it's pointless. They will be massacred because there's so many guns in this country." No, I have no fear. I have no fear.
Joshua, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Hey guys, it's Scott Bauer here, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Are you looking for a super hot stock tip? Here at Prosper, we are always looking for exciting opportunities in the markets. And right now, all my students are salivating over this stock we are watching. In fact, I've got this hot stock written down right here, and I'm about to text it to you for free. I just need to know where to send it. Simply text HOT to 48542, and I'll text it to you instantly. How do I know this stock is so hot? Well, I'm a former CBOE market maker for Amazon Options, former vice president of Goldman Sachs, and I have over 25 years of professional trading experience. I'm telling you, this stock is hot. But be warned, the stock may move soon, so you need to claim it before it does. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Message and data rates may apply.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. convictions. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That's how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Conan.
And in less than 6 weeks, I will be in New York City for the New York City Marathon. I'll be running it as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. And they just, earlier today actually, or it might have been yesterday, sent out an email talking about how 2018 has gone so far for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. These are innocent people who had combined served over 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the efforts of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. Next Tuesday, October 2nd, is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system. Now, I've already raised $4,500 for the Innocence Project for the New York City Marathon. I would like to raise $5,000. So on October 2nd, go to run, or between now and October 2nd, go to run.freetalklive.com. Make a donation to the Innocence Project. Help me raise $5,000 for the Innocence Project. Run.freetalklive.com. So, Conan, we've been teasing this story about some bus drivers that aren't happy that some robots might be driving some buses, and they've got a union boss that he ain't happy either.
Well, that's usually the case with union bosses, but you can't make these guys happy. They're stuck in the past.
Right.
They dig their own holes in the ways of the cost.
Right.
They dig their own graves, and then whenever a robot comes in to take their jobs, they get all crazy about it, and it's like...
Fight for 15. That's why you've got the ordering kiosk at McDonald's now.
They took our jobs, but this comes from NBC4i.com. The international president of the Transportation Workers Union of America, TWUA, threatened to strike if state leaders try to enforce automated driverless buses onto the streets of Columbus, Ohio. Quote, "Our folks are not coming off these buses." And by the way, this guy's accent is terrific.
Because there is a video that you watched the video.
I wanted to play the video because, I mean, every one of these guys, man, every one of these is a damn good fellow. He sounds like a mafia boss.
If you've ever listened to one union boss speak, you've heard every union boss speak.
And I had a question about that. That's just a union boss stereotype that draws that type of person? Or whenever people are hiring their union leaders, they're looking for that stereotype because they think they'll get things done because, hey, it's the mafia, man. They're going to get things done. You're going to be sleeping with the fishes if you play around with this boss.
It's one or the other.
Well, quote, our folks are not coming off of these buses for the sake of the workers and the working families that ride these buses, and for the sake of our own members, we will take strike action in Columbus, Ohio, before we come off these buses.
All right,
said International President John Samuelson.
All right, hold on. There's a lot of stuff to break apart here from what he says. He says we're not coming off of these buses, meaning, like, we're not stepping aside for robots to take our jobs. So instead of doing our job to prove that we're better than a robot, we're not going to do our job, and we're going to strike, and nobody gets to take the bus. Thus proving
encouraging
the need for robots to drive the buses, because the humans are saying we're not driving buses until the robots get fired.
Not to mention, it's not the buses that they're driving that are going to be the robot buses. They're elsewhere. There are these little tiny little things, and if I found the right article, they're little 6-passenger buses. They're only experimental at this moment in time. And guess what? They're going to include a fleet passenger, they call him, which is a guy
who's the conductor guy.
Which is a guy who sits behind the steering wheel, so just in case something bad happens, he could take over.
Right.
So it still needs a damn driver, and so it's less passengers, and it still has a driver. So I don't know what these guys are complaining about.
Because the fleet guy probably isn't one of the Transportation Worker Union of America.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably not a part of the union.
Local 470, hand over your money.
And probably only makes a quarter of what these knuckleheads makes. He probably makes minimum wage. Whereas this guy, well, I don't know. This guy who's talking, Samuelson, is probably not a driver.
Right.
He probably hasn't been a driver since 10 years ago when he was in the New York.
Probably.
He probably makes really good money, which is usually the case with these union leaders.
So we'll continue with this in just a moment. To the phones first. We've got Jerry calling in from Oregon. Jerry, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, I'm talking about the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh.
Go ahead. You agree with them?
I think so. What do you guys think? These people that are coming out, well, I guess there's 3 girls now from 35 years ago that say he did this thing at a party.
Tell me about the third one, because I only know about the first 2. And the second one is just there is no corroboration. That no one agrees with this woman, so I'm throwing the second one out. Tell me about the third one.
So the third one has come out and said, well, I guess groping or whatever, something like that. But what I think is that these women went to a party, kind of think it looks a guy similar to him, but wasn't actually him. And what my point is that, you go to a party, it's like 35 years ago. How do you actually remember what actually happened
especially when there was alcohol,
party?
especially when there was alcohol and drugs involved.
Yes, exactly. That's my point, too. It's like, I'm only 30 years old, and I don't remember some of the parties that I went to. Like, sometimes I run into people, they say, hey, what's up?
Yep.
I met you at this party or whatever, and I don't even remember who they are.
And not to mention this whole attitude that we're suffering. We really are suffering from this Me Too movement. I mean, it's one thing to actually call out real sexual assault, but jumping each other's bones, consensual bone jumping back in the day when it wasn't a big deal. That's what we were all. That's what we kids were all about. And so now 40 years later, these people are coming out with a whole different perspective on what they experienced when it was, because I dealt with women who were trying to jump my bones, and and I was all for it. I was good to go. And so, but now it's been turned on its head, and it's just it is. It's like we live in extreme.
So hold on, I'm curious here. Are either of you saying that because, Conan, in your experience, you had some women make advances towards you, so therefore no man has ever groped a woman at a frat party?
That's not what is even being suggested. This last one is what? He was goggling her?
Jerry?
Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't hear the whole situation because I just caught wind of just a third one had come out.
Yep.
But you don't have details about what the allegation was?
No, I don't.
Thank you for the call.
I mean, so I don't even know what to think about this. I think this is a stalling tactic on the side of the Democrats. They're trying to push this out as long as possible, and considering Kavanaugh, who is not a good guy, especially when it comes to the Fourth Amendment.
Right.
I believe that this is a tactic on the side of the right to hide this fact, because they're not talking about what he actually stands for. They're talking about this bull crap.
Hasn't that been sort of the thing with every Supreme Court nominee throughout forever, to where they talk about what was this person's past? I remember there was some kind of allegation. Who was the guy that got nominated? Was it Thomas that got nominated when we were in like junior high?
Dude, I was not
and there were some
anything.
kinds of allegations against him.
Darryl, I was trying to get my bones jumped in junior high. This is nothing I was concerned with. But no, I mean, no one is talking about the fact that he was an instrumental part of the Patriot Act.
Right.
Or this metadata collection. And he's all for. He's like, no, that's not a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Go ahead, collect all the data you want on these people, these sheep. But no, all we're talking about is these allegations that are not sexual assault. It's just stupidity.
Well, if there was groping, it is. If there was groping, that was unwanted,
non-consensual groping.
Now, one thing that I will say, and like I've said, plenty of other times, I've not read, like everything written about any of these, but there was one of the reports where the lady said something, and then after like a week of dealing with some kind of detective or something, she was suddenly able to piece everything together.
Yep.
That does sound like a reconstructed memory to me.
These things happen.
But I don't know. 855 450 free. Hour 2 coming up next. Your calls and thoughts. Welcome. More on these driverless buses, where the actual bus drivers, they're not going to work unless the driverless buses go away.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value, made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,198 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,510. Antiwar.com reports escalations of the Saudi-led war in Yemen, including the attack on the Yemeni port city of Al-Hodeida, has seen the already huge civilian death toll of the war skyrocket, up 164% since June. According to the International Rescue Committee, the month of August was by far the worst of the year, with a single 9-day period leaving nearly 500 civilians killed. They noted that 1/3 of Saudi airstrikes have hit non-military targets. It is unsurprising that August would be such a particularly deadly month, with Saudi airstrikes early in the month hitting a school bus full of children, killing 51 of them. Saudi officials long maintained that the attack was legitimate, but there was never any question the victims were civilians. This undercuts U.S. and Saudi claims that they are making improvements in targeting to reduce civilian death tolls, and if anything, the U.S. seems to have only claimed that to bypass congressional demands to halt aid. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a former National Security Agency employee was sentenced Tuesday to nearly 6 years in prison for keeping classified information in his home. Ngia Hoang Pho was sentenced up to 66 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release for the willful retention of classified national defense information after he removed massive troves of highly classified national defense information without authorization and stored it at his home in Maryland, according to the Department of Justice. Assistant Attorney General for National Security John C. Deemers said Pho's intentional, reckless, and illegal retention of highly classified information over the course of almost 5 years placed at risk our intelligence community's capabilities and methods, rendering some of them unusable. Pho worked as a developer in tailored access operations at the NSA beginning in 2006 and held various clearances, including top secret and top secret sensitive compartmented information. During his time with the NSA, he worked on highly classified specialized projects and had access to national defense and classified information. He also received training about the proper handling, marking, transportation, and storage of information, was warned of the consequences of unauthorized treatment of the materials, and signed numerous non-disclosure agreements stating he understood the conditions. Pho's plea agreement stated he removed and held U.S. government property, including documents and writings that contained national defense information classified as top secret and SCI in both hard copy and digital forms in his home, with the knowledge that he was not authorized to do so. U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, Robert K. Herr, said removing and retaining such highly classified material displays a total disregard of Pho's oath and promise to protect our nation's national security. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Bill Cosby was marched out of court in shackles on Tuesday after a judge branded him a predator and sentenced him to between 3 and 10 years in prison for sexual assault, capping the downfall of the once beloved comedian known as America's Dad. Cosby was found guilty in April of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault for the drugging and sexual assault of his one-time friend, Andrea Constand, a former Temple University administrator, at his Philadelphia home in 2004. He is the first celebrity to be convicted of sexual abuse since the start of the Me Too movement, the national reckoning with misconduct that has brought down dozens of powerful men in entertainment, politics, and other fields. Cosby must spend at least 3 years in Pennsylvania prison before he becomes eligible for supervised release, though he could end up behind bars for up to a decade. Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas Judge Stephen O'Neill ordered Cosby to be jailed immediately, denying Cosby's request for bail while lawyers appeal the conviction. He was escorted out of the back of the courthouse with his hands and feet shackled and driven away in a black SUV. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to, right?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 2. You can call in and join us by dialing toll-free 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. There's also the Discord call-in lines over at discord.lrn.fm. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Conan.
And we'll get back into this bus driver story out of Ohio here in just a moment. But first to the phones. We've got, I think this says Alorna calling in from California. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, it's Lorna. Let you guys know that they raised up the car tags and the boat tags as well.
What about the car tags and boat tags?
They raise them high where people cannot afford them.
Yep, this is typical around the country. They making it more. Everything is going up in price, making it more and more difficult to just live our lives without getting permission to do these things. These simple little things like drive to the grocery store to buy groceries, we have to get permission.
So how high did they wind up raising these things?
Okay, car tags is like $5.66, and tags for a boat is like $65
now,
a year.
Now, when you say tags, you mean registration?
No, the little tags they go for 2019 for the vehicles and well for the boat.
The license plates. So yeah, she's talking about the registration.
Right, right. That's what I asked.
Yeah.
The car tags, yeah.
Yeah. So in some places, Conan, they just refer to the plate that goes on the back as the tags.
And is this what kind of vehicle are you registering? Is it a brand new vehicle or is it?
It's a 96 and a 85 Ford Ranger.
Wow. What state? California?
California.
Yeah, you need to get out of there, lady.
Yeah.
I mean, I only paid, and I'm not happy with this at all, but I paid $120 on a 2001 Ford, a big truck.
Here in New Hampshire?
Here in New Hampshire, and I'm not happy with it. Now, the thing about New Hampshire is you pay more for newer vehicles. And so newer vehicles and the weight. Because you do more damage to the road.
Right, so it's based on the value.
And that actually makes sense. The weight makes sense. The age of your vehicle doesn't make sense to me. But they used to not include the weight or the newer, more fuel efficient vehicles, but because they use less gas and they participate less in the system, that's the thing of the past. This year it's gone up for them. But yeah, lady, move out of that country. That country. It's its own country.
California might be its own country. There is the ballot measure that it's actually not going to be on the ballot this year. And thank you for the call.
Yeah, that is
there
way
was that
too
ballot
much.
Measure, yes, California, that would have had the vote on whether or not to hold an independence referendum in California. That unfortunately did not get the requisite number of signatures to get on the ballot for November this year.
And now they have to do it all over again next year?
Got to start all over again.
What a pain.
Not next year. Got to be 2 years because it's got to wait for the next election year. So let's jump back into this bus driver story out of Columbus, Ohio, where the Columbus Bus Drivers, the union, the Transportation Workers Union of America, whatever the local there is in Columbus, they're not happy that apparently there are going to be some smaller buses that legally do not fit the definition of bus,
right?
Because the legal definition of bus is capacity for 15 passengers or more plus a driver. These would have seating capacity for, you're saying, 5 passengers?
I'm going to get to that.
Plus the fleet operator that would be there in case a human needed to take over the operation of the driverless vehicle.
Right. This guy, President John Samuelson, it sounds like a good fella, says our folks aren't coming off of these buses. A slow-speed, driverless shuttle service is already being brought to Columbus, and the bus drivers are not happy about the prospect of potentially losing their jobs to a computer.
So instead of proving that they are more valuable than a computer, according to Mr. John Samuelson, quote, we will take strike action in Columbus, Ohio before we come off the buses.
Right.
Which means in order to strike, you must remove yourself from the bus and not drive the bus.
Yeah, but these things...
Because otherwise, it's called doing your job.
Yeah, but these things aren't in full effect yet. I'm moving over to another article. This is from WOSU.org, which actually kind of describes these buses.
All right.
The green and white self-driving shuttle unveiled by Smart Columbus on Wednesday morning looks something like a small rectangular minivan. A lot of windows and the logos of partner organizations decorate its size: Smart Columbus, Drive Ohio, May Mobility. The interior reveals 6 seats, 4 in the back that face each other and 2 in the front. 1 for a passenger, and guess what? 1 for a fleet attendant who will be able to assume control of the vehicle. It's a shuttle that key players hope to see more throughout the state. 3 battery-powered self-driving shuttles are scheduled to operate daily from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. starting in December, driving around the Scioto Mile. The 15-mile-per-hour self-driving shuttle will connect COSI, C-O-S-I, the Veterans Memorial, Smart Columbus Experience Center, and the Bicentennial Park.
Some landmarks in Columbus that if you've never been to Columbus, that means absolutely nothing
So
to
it's like
you.
a 3-mile route, and this was... this is going to go into effect in December.
So I'm guessing a similar comparison would be something going up and down the Vegas Strip.
Right.
Which is, probably a little more than 3 miles, but, same sort of thing. Like, here's a little thing that hits all of the landmarks, and you can no more than 5 people at a time get on one of these little electric things, and the bus drivers somehow, I guess there are so few people taking the buses in Columbus that they're afraid that something with a total capacity of 15 people over 3 vehicles is going to completely replace them.
Not 15 people.
There are 3 of these little microbuses,
right? But
each holding 5 people.
Just to start.
That's a total capacity of 15 people.
Gotcha. So back to the original article. These union members, they have serious concerns over the safety of the public without a driver present. But as we just said,
there's going to be a driver present,
and which I'm questioning myself. Why? Why even have this? I mean, they already have self-driving Uber cars all over the place, and they're doing just fine. Well, and
they don't have them all over the place.
Except for
they
that
are
one
testing them in a handful of locations, and that one had a guy behind the steering wheel.
Right.
Even Amtrak. Those things are largely, operating on, autopilot, but they still have to have conductors.
Right. Well, I'm envisioning the next step in the very near future is those safety drivers won't be necessary. And I'm thinking that Samuelson here, he's thinking as I am that they're going to become a thing of the past.
At some point, probably.
Right. So Samuelson, who was in New York...
It's not going to be next week. It's not going to be next year.
It might be next year.
No.
Samuelson, who was in New York on September 11, 2001, says no computer could do what those bus drivers did that day. Quote, in the midst of the flames and carnage, bus operators went off the road, off their route in ways that a computer could never do using their instincts, their street smarts to evacuate people to safely, said Samuelson, end quote. Those street smarts have been shown here in Columbus, too.
All right. So, again,
he's being very dramatic here. He's playing
right, but we're talking about something the size of a minivan that is still going to have a person that can drive the thing.
Right, and he's comparing it to a catastrophe that, how often do those things happen?
We're also not talking about, say, a light rail transit that is stuck to a given path. These things can drive wherever they go.
Right.
But it's basically a minivan. It's not going to take your job. But if you're scared it is, actually do a better job instead of going on strike. This is Free Talk Live.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855 450 free. That is how you can call in and join us on the airwaves. The Us in Studio tonight is Darryl.
And Conan.
And coming up in just about 4 weeks is the Texas Bitcoin Conference, October 27th and 28th in Austin, Texas. The Texas Bitcoin Conference is always a great event for networking, innovation, and entertainment. This year, speakers include Paul Snow of Factom, Bruce Fenton of Ravencoin, Professor John M. Griffin, and more. Free Talk Live will be there again. Unfortunately, that does not include Darryl. Darryl will be here in the Keene, New Hampshire studios in case anything goes wrong. But Ian and Mark will be there, and they would love to see you. Go to TexasBitcoinConference.com right now to get your tickets. Again, TexasBitcoinConference.com.
Is Cody Wilson going to be there?
I don't know. I don't believe was ever listed on the list of speakers for the Texas Bitcoin Conference. I am not the person selling tickets. I'm the person telling you about the event, and that you can buy tickets at TexasBitcoinConference.com. So other than the names that I mentioned, I have no clue who else is going to be there.
Good to know.
TexasBitcoinConference.com. So there might be a little bit more to this story about the self-driving buses in Columbus that we'll get to in just a moment. But first, to the phones, and somebody that I think might like the idea of self-driving buses. That would be Sarah calling in from Albuquerque. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, yes, self-driving buses is my, is my thing here. So Columbus, what state? Columbus, Ohio?
Yes, Columbus, Ohio.
So they got it started already? You know what I mean? So is this still a test? Well, it makes sense because, I call them because the Albuquerque voters, the New Mexico voters, they vote out all of the candidates that want to bring that red light cameras.
Excellent.
Good.
So, yeah, every mayor and every councilor that bring the speeding vans or red light cameras, they all get voted out. So
excellent.
That's I love that. What do you think about? But you don't like that, do you?
Well, the thing is, the best alternative, the next alternative is these self-driving buses that we're talking about, because it's what's going to really work is those buses, self-driving cars here in New Mexico, because nobody knows how to drive here in New Mexico. They're all either drinking and driving.
No, I'm fairly certain that there are people that know how to drive in New Mexico that aren't driving drunk, Sarah. Thank you for the call. They're also not running over every single pedestrian every time they see one. Otherwise, everybody in Albuquerque would be dead.
And they wouldn't be allowed to drive.
Right, no, so she says that
vehicle certification would be so difficult.
Right, but she's said previously that everybody that walks around in Albuquerque gets run over by cars every day, and then they get backed up over by the second car.
I'm sure you've looked up these statistics. How does Albuquerque
numerous times?
How does Albuquerque compare with other big cities?
It's been a while since I've looked at them, but they're about, they're within the statistical difference of median.
Sarah, I would suggest
we've read these statistics to her numerous times.
Yeah, Sarah,
but she does, and she's not listening right now.
I would suggest if you can find some Section 8 housing out in the countryside, that's where I'd be going, because it's a lot. You would have to dodge tractors. And loose cows.
And cattle,
yeah.
That's
the way to go.
Occasional...
get out of the city.
Javelina. out there in New Mexico. You don't know about javelina, having never lived in the Southwest, but they're these feral pig type things. They're really cute.
But they're feral, so they will probably shred you.
No.
Yeah, that's what
they're as scared of you as you are of them.
Yeah, until you get between them and their kids, and then they come after you, the little piglets, and then they tear you to shreds. And pigs eat people.
That's why you don't get between them and the little piglets.
How do you know? You're just walking around in the countryside and you stumble across some little piglets and you're like, hey,
because it's the desert out there and you can see for
forever.
Miles and miles. You can see all the way to the edge of the globe because the earth is round. So let's continue talking about, speaking of round things, buses have wheels. Wheels go round and round, and the horn on the bus goes beep, beep, beep. And these apparently don't have a driver except for that fleet operator guy that acts as a driver.
Right, for now.
And also a conductor.
Right. So Samuelson just got finished telling us how...
Samuelson being the president of the Transportation Workers Union of America, local in Columbus.
Right, how important the bus drivers were during 9/11 whenever there was debris all over the place and they had to evacuate these people as quickly as possible. And according to him, a computer could not have done that. Some other guy named Darryl Neal has driven a CODA bus for 10 years. One day he noticed...
That's Columbus, Ohio Transportation Authority.
Correct. A suspicious package that he thought could be a pipe bomb that was left behind on his bus. And while the resulting flurry of activity to ensure it wasn't dangerous took several hours to sort out, Neal says it never would have happened with an automated system that wouldn't be unaware of metal cylinder left behind. Some grammar there.
All right. And since they don't say what this thing was, but they say that it turned out to, not be dangerous. I'm wondering if it was somebody's thermos.
Yeah, 99% of the time, and probably even more than that, these suspicious items are never anything other than someone's backpack.
Yeah, in this case, it's a round cylinder. Somebody probably left their thermos.
Yeah.
There was the one time, and we'll get to the phones here in just a second, there was the one time where there was a package that got delivered to an office building. There was some kind of powder, and it was right around the time that the anthrax letters were being allegedly mailed to people, and most of them turned out to not actually be anthrax.
And probably never were, by the way.
This particular box that had some white powder on it, the little robot went and blew it up.
It was Dunkin' Donuts.
No. The office got a package of coffee and creamer, and one of the creamers, because it was the powder creamer, one of the creamers had popped open.
So let me tell you,
that was the white powder.
Let me tell you, for those unaware, I deliver mail for the post office.
Yes, you're a fan.
I have delivered so many nasty, suspicious packages with just stuff leaking out of them or just stuff on them, and you know what? I still deliver them. Yeah. Because you know what, I'm not did you see my video the other day where I delivered a package with the dog? This dog.
No.
This is
you delivered a dog?
There's a shepherd. This shepherd at this address. It's bigger than me.
Okay.
Weighs more than me. Weighs more than you. Well, I don't know.
Are you allowed to discuss this? Like, is this a violation of some kind of federal something?
No, I'm not talking about what I delivered or where I delivered it. It just could be all fake for all you know.
Okay. So there was allegedly a dog.
This dog could just walk across this fence. This is a regular chain fence.
All right.
Delivered it. Didn't feel fear for my life. Didn't have to shoot the dog. Didn't have to get my dog mace out. And I was able to deliver that package like a true hero.
Thank you for your service.
I survived Sunday and didn't have to shoot that dog.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I'm still trying to figure out what was suspicious about delivering a dog. This is Free Talk Live.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the f*** up? Seriously. Just shut the f*** up. I lost back down. Keep going. What the f*** are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll go back to the phones here in just a second, but want to make sure that I tell you, if you are the proprietor or the operator of a retail business, whether large or small, and you're looking for a solution for cryptocurrency acceptance at a point of sale, it's never been easier thanks to AnyPay. There's no paperwork, no approval process. If you have a tablet, you're halfway there. Just sign up at anypay.global. Drop in your personal cryptocurrency wallet addresses, and then you load the app. That's it. You're ready to accept cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Dash. Get started now at anypay.global. That's anypay.global. Easily accept Bitcoin, Dash, Zcash, and more. Anypay.global. Let's go to the phones. We've got Bob calling in from New Jersey. Bob, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to play devil's advocate on behalf of the robots driving the buses.
All right.
I predict that the unions are going to want to protect the interests of the robots and require them to draw a salary and pay union dues, in which case that they won't care so much about people. They'll be more concerned about protecting the interests of the robots.
You think the union... What? Why would the unions do that?
Hold on. So robots need to be represented in the union, so the robots become union members.
So this new robot,
exactly.
This new robot shuttle, let's just call his name Bender.
Yes.
Decides that
Bending Rodriguez.
He's going to start a new robot union to protect their robot jobs.
Exactly.
Right, but see, he's not going to start a complete new union. He's going to join the Transportation Workers Union of America, local to Columbus.
Right, his representative will be this guy Samuelson. So instead of arguing about these people, Samuelson should be looking at the future and being like, you know what, I need to represent these robots.
Yes.
Right, because they're not slaves. Well, we can't have them be slaves.
Well, they're not slaves yet, but I mean, that day will come.
We pay them. And then, out of their salary, they pay union dues.
Well, that's not the day.
And then Samuelson keeps his job.
No, first they'll be complete slaves, and then they'll work up. Right. They'll work up to minimum wage, and then, they'll work up the chinkles, and then the minimum wage, and then the unions will step in and be like, this and that, and
fight for 15.
Fight for 15, and then someone will have to take the robots' jobs.
Well, that could end up happening, but
It'll be some poor Venezuelan that'll move in to take the robot's job. That'll work for even less.
But this will be the premise of fighting off the robot rebellion.
All right, because the robots are driving the cars, and so to counter the robot bus drivers, everybody has to start driving themselves, or...
Well, here is I'm back at the.
I love the way this thought experiment's going. I'm just not sure
I'm going to continue the thought experiment, and I found this in the second article that actually explained what these buses are.
All right,
and I was looking at their safety features. They look pretty safe, but here's the thing: their original rollout, the three buses
that hold a combined total of 15 passengers,
$550,000. Now, it looks like Columbus, the city of Columbus, is going to want to do a lot more of these buses. They've received a $40 million grant from the Department of Transportation. There's your problem. It's not cost effective. It doesn't make sense. It will be cheaper.
Hold on, what do you mean it's not cost effective? The city of Columbus, and now I'm playing devil's advocate, they're not paying any money. They're getting $40 million of free money to buy these things.
That is one of the issues that all of these legislators have, and that they believe in free money, and if it comes from somewhere else, not their taxpayers. But in actuality, these grants, especially these federal grants, they do come from us, the taxpayers.
Right, and people like Bob in New Jersey and Sarah in New Mexico. Well, not Sarah in New Mexico, but...
Bob, you're paying for this crap,
man. There are people in New Mexico that are having to pay for this. Bob, continue with your thoughts.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you on that. But no, I think ultimately robots are going to start working their way, like you have the sex trade robots
that
they're trying to start, and... robots are going to slowly work their way in, but I predict that what the unions will do will switch from trying to protect the human people's interests, and they'll jump on the bandwagon of trying to protect the robots' interest and basically extort union dues from the people that hire robots to do their job.
Correct. They'll want.
That's something that I've definitely not thought of, and Bob, thank you for the call.
He is absolutely right, because I know. I didn't think about the unions, but legislators are already in the works talking about taxing businesses who bring more and more robots into their trade, because it is creating a vacuum. They're not paying Social Security. They're not paying into that Ponzi scheme. They're not paying into the base pyramid to provide Social Security for all these people who are retiring. So it's like, well, you're killing jobs with your robots. You need to be taxed accordingly,
and
to help prop up the Ponzi scheme.
This is one of those things to where they're going to have to start defining what is a robot.
Yep.
So is a welding machine that works on an assembly line in Detroit in one of the auto factories, is that by definition a robot, or is that just a welding machine? At what point does welding machine turn into welding robot that then winds up having to
I think initially
be taxed?
I think initially it's going to probably revolve around how many actions it takes. So if you have like a stapler, that's just like you have one action.
Right, but stapler requires a human to do a thing.
Okay, it's an it's a self-automated, it's an automated stapler. It does all the work for you.
So the burger flipping bot.
How many actions does it take?
It makes hamburgers.
Okay, so probably not. No, but if you have this bus
it can flip the burger. It can put the cooked burger on the bun. It can add the condiments. It makes hamburgers.
Right. I'm thinking the entire assembly that has all the lettuce, and just because you have a machine that's cutting the tomatoes, or at least taking tomatoes out of a package.
Well, generally, the guy that's getting paid minimum wage at McDonald's, he's not over there slicing each tomato individually before putting it on a burger.
I think they do slice your tomatoes fresh. But anyways,
somebody is cutting the tomatoes, yes, but it's not the guy. Every time he makes a burger, he doesn't walk over to the tomato machine and slice a single tomato. You
do that all at the beginning of this prep. This prep at the beginning of before you open the doors. Yes,
right.
You do that. Yes.
So somebody has cut the tomatoes at the beginning of the day.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
That's not the guy cooking the burger slicing a tomato.
And that's why I said this robot will include how many actions it takes, and it might be the entire assembly. So the entire restaurant or the entire fast food building might be considered one entity that needs to be taxed accordingly because there's so many actions that are being taken. But no, but the burger flipper inside it, that one little piece, that one little component, no, it doesn't count.
Let's go to the Discord call-in line where we've got Stop Legal Plunder calling in. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Jobs. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, got you. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Crystal clear, man.
Thanks. Yeah, talking about jobs, I'd like to quick talk about the gender pay gap that they often bring up about bringing in government regulations. Well, I ran across a statistic today about the gender gap of fatalities on the job.
Let me guess. Men die on the job 90% more than women.
93%, I think, is what I found. 11 times more. 11 times more.
Yeah, we never hear that, do we?
Oh, and the reason for that is it's often in jobs like mining, fishing, construction. They also go for STEM jobs, things like that. So I just thought I'd bring that up real quick.
Yeah. This is one statistic that never gets brought up, and they also never talk about why there is a gender gap because of the jobs that are chosen by women and for the many months that they sometimes take off from working.
Right, and there are statistics showing that women take more vacation days, which some of those are taking kids to the doctors.
Yep.
Men also generally work more overtime. Thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts. Welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. Privateinternetaccess.com. DriverlessBuses.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now, here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now, they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Conan.
And your property and your family are precious. You should protect them with Blink.
Precious.
Blink has motion-activated HD cameras that are wire-free. They set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And the Blink Live Feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home, anytime, anywhere from your smartphone or other portable device. There are no contracts. There are no subscriptions. And Blink works with Alexa. Alexa, check my Blink cameras. You get 3 Blink security cameras for way less than what the other guys charge, plus get an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company. So we've been talking about transportation sort of things for most of the show. Started off talking about these driverless buses that are going to be rolled out at some point in the not too distant future in Columbus, Ohio, that they ain't cheap. What'd you say? 3 buses, $550,000.
Yep.
The city of Columbus is getting a $40 million grant. Who knows what they're using all the other money for? I'm guessing some of that is to train the fleet operator who will sit behind the steering wheel but not actually use the steering wheel unless they absolutely have to.
Probably a lot of insurance.
A lot of insurance. Also probably setting some money aside for maintenance, because who knows how cheap that's going to be.
Yep.
There was a story, I forget what the really, really expensive car is, that it costs
Tesla?
Not the Tesla. The starts with a B. Not Bugatti, that's the motorcycle, but something similar. But it costs like $20,000 for an oil change.
What?
And so somebody had an article explaining why it costs that to do the oil change on this, and it's because of how sleek the design is. You have to literally take the car half apart to get to the oil filters and the fuel pan and all of these other things. And so you're basically deconstructing and reconstructing a car, and that's going to take a lot of time.
Well, like a lot of things, and concentrate your energy on other things. But when the government gets involved and they fork out this amount of money on something that the free market, and by the way, this is this is a private industry that's producing these buses, but they're being paid by the taxpayers at this crazy rate.
And I'm wondering,
and it's not fair to private bus owners who are or Uber or private taxi cabs who are having to compete with this now.
You're assuming there are private bus companies.
There probably aren't. I mean, we have a private bus company here in Keene.
No, we don't.
Sure we do. It's the charter bus thing that goes to Boston and goes to Manchester. They might get some government money. I'm not sure, but
I don't really consider the vans that
No. Yeah, I'm not talking about those. Yes, they are 80% funded through the taxpayers. 20% through donations.
The thing you mentioned that does the trips to Boston, it's through a taxi company, and those are basically large vans that they drive. When you said private bus company, I'm thinking the things that stay wholly within a city doing set routes.
No, I'm talking about a charter company.
Yeah, charter company, not the same as a bus company. So the COTA that Columbus, Ohio, that's a government-run thing where they have unionized drivers.
Right, and if I was living in Columbus, not only would I have to, if I wanted to drive Uber, not only would I have to compete with these unionized bus drivers, but I would also have to compete with this new entity. Unfair. It's unfair. And we know, you and I both know, the private sector will always do a better job. The customer service will always be better. We will always do it we will always stretch that dollar. And if we don't, we won't last long.
I don't know if it will always be better.
We won't last long. We'll be tail between our legs, run out of town.
And I'm glad you mentioned Uber because they're back in the news. And no, it's not for expanding their driverless car testing. This time, do you remember the breach, the data breach from a couple of years ago?
There have been so many breaches for all these big companies. It seems like it's a natural thing. Every month there's going to be a breach.
In 2016, Uber had a data breach. They did not disclose this until November of last year. Said breach wound up exposing the names, email addresses, and phone numbers of 57 million customers and drivers. Well, according to Ars Technica, California authorities announced on Wednesday, that being today, that Uber had agreed to pay $148 million to settle legal claims surrounding the data breach. As Ars previously reported, Uber paid hackers $100,000 to delete the data they had taken and not publicize the breach. At the time, Uber was negotiating with federal regulators over different privacy concerns. California Attorney General Xavier Becerra said in a statement, quote, Uber's decision to cover up this breach was a blatant violation of the public's trust. The company failed to safeguard user data and notify authorities when it was exposed. Consistent with its corporate culture at the time, Uber swept the breach under the rug in deliberate disregard of the law. And now, Conan, you had asked the question off the air, who is Uber paying this money to?
Exactly. It should be paying it to the people who actually...
Who do you think they're paying the money to?
I think they're paying it to the government. Because to again, sweep it under the rug.
I never got notice that I was being offered money from Uber.
Are you an Uber passenger? Do you have an account?
I do have an Uber account. I've used it numerous times.
You should be paid some of those millions.
I should wind up getting something.
$1 at least?
Let's see. 57 million divided by 148 million minus the lawyer's cut. I should get exactly $1.
That probably sounds about right.
Yeah.
Have you ever got this stuff in the mail where there's been some lawsuit that has come down that's been going on for the last decade?
Yeah.
And it's like, you get $2. You need to call this number or mail this into this entity to get your $2. And it's whatever.
The $148 million will be divided between the 50 states and the District of Columbia. So, this is going to the state governments because Uber violated state laws in order for you, Conan, to wind up getting anything. And I don't know if you were an Uber driver, you would need to file a lawsuit, and most likely you would want to join a class action lawsuit to wind up being compensated for your data being stolen.
And when does this information come down? Is this the day?
Yeah, this came out this morning.
I wouldn't doubt that there would be some cities, some big hubs where the Uber drivers will do just that, and they should.
California,
because this is unfair, and all this does is incentivizes the government to continue doing this nonsense because this is incentivizing their bad behavior to make more money on their behalf. It doesn't actually protect. You're not actually getting the money.
California, which helped lead the lawsuit, is getting $26 million.
Makes too much sense to me.
That money is being divided between the California Attorney General's office and the San Francisco District Attorney's office.
To find more people and to hire more people to find more people to sue.
Yes. Bacara's office noted the settlement also includes additional terms to prevent future breaches and to reform Uber's corporate culture. This settlement marks the first time the Attorney General has required a company to incorporate privacy by design into its product. Privacy by design describes a practice of integrating privacy considerations and protections into a product's development and design. Uber is also required to report any data security incidents to states every quarter for the next 2 years. Uber Chief Legal Officer Tony West said in a statement earlier today, "We know that earning the trust of our customers and the regulators we work with globally is no easy feat. We'll continue to invest in protections to keep our customers and their data safe and secure, and we're committed to maintaining a constructive and collaborative relationship with governments around the world."
Darryl, how was this breach discovered back in November?
2016 breach was disclosed, I believe, by Uber last year.
Okay, that was my question.
Hour 3 coming up next. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450 free. Oh yeah, and Uber officially declined comment for this particular article. This is Free Talk Live.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied, but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.47 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,198 per ounce. Zen is trading at $16, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,510. Antiwar.com reports escalations of the Saudi-led war in Yemen, including the attack on the Yemeni port city of Al-Hodeida, has seen the already huge civilian death toll of the war skyrocket, up 164% since June. According to the International Rescue Committee, the month of August was by far the worst of the year, with a single 9-day period leaving nearly 500 civilians killed. They noted that 1/3 of Saudi airstrikes have hit non-military targets. It is unsurprising that August would be such a particularly deadly month, with Saudi airstrikes early in the month hitting a school bus full of children, killing 51 of them. Saudi officials long maintained that the attack was legitimate, but there was never any question the victims were civilians. This undercuts U.S. and Saudi claims that they are making improvements in targeting to reduce civilian death tolls, and if anything, the U.S. seems to have only claimed that to bypass congressional demands to halt aid. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a former National Security Agency employee was sentenced Tuesday to nearly 6 years in prison for keeping classified information in his home. Ngia Hoang Pho was sentenced up to 66 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release for the willful retention of classified national defense information after he removed massive troves of highly classified national defense information without authorization and stored it at his home in Maryland, according to the Department of Justice. Assistant Attorney General for National Security John C. Deemers said Pho's intentional, reckless, and illegal retention of highly classified information over the course of almost 5 years placed at risk our intelligence community's capabilities and methods, rendering some of them unusable. Pho worked as a developer in tailored access operations at the NSA beginning in 2006 and held various clearances, including top secret and top secret sensitive compartmented information. During his time with the NSA, he worked on highly classified specialized projects and had access to national defense and classified information. He also received training about the proper handling, marking, transportation, and storage of information, was warned of the consequences of unauthorized treatment of the materials, and signed numerous non-disclosure agreements stating he understood the conditions. Pho's plea agreement stated he removed and held U.S. government property, including documents and writings that contained national defense information classified as top secret and SCI in both hard copy and digital forms in his home, with the knowledge that he was not authorized to do so. U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, Robert K. Herr, said removing and retaining such highly classified material displays a total disregard of Pho's oath and promise to protect our nation's national security. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Bill Cosby was marched out of court in shackles on Tuesday after a judge branded him a predator and sentenced him to between 3 and 10 years in prison for sexual assault, capping the downfall of the once beloved comedian known as America's Dad. Cosby was found guilty in April of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault for the drugging and sexual assault of his one-time friend, Andrea Constand, a former Temple University administrator, at his Philadelphia home in 2004. He is the first celebrity to be convicted of sexual abuse since the start of the Me Too movement. movement, the national reckoning with misconduct that has brought down dozens of powerful men in entertainment, politics, and other fields. Cosby must spend at least 3 years in Pennsylvania prison before he becomes eligible for supervised release, though he could end up behind bars for up to a decade. Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas Judge Stephen O'Neill ordered Cosby to be jailed immediately, denying Cosby's request for bail while lawyers appeal the conviction. He was escorted out of the back of the courthouse with his hands and feet shackled and driven away in a black SUV. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Saying that he has no idea what to make of the mixed signals, area man Pete Summers told reporters today he keeps getting ambiguous text messages from local woman Haley Mueller, claiming that she's not at all interested in him.
One minute she's like, I don't want to go out with you. And then she'll mention how she has to go hang out with her boyfriend. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that?
Summers, who first met Mueller at a friend's party last month, informed reporters that the 27-year-old's increasingly perplexing text messages have left him unable to ascertain whether or not she would want to date him. He also noted that Mueller's behavior at social gatherings was equally vague.
Last weekend, we were at a party, and every time I would go up to her, she just said, "Leave me alone." Then I text her the next day, and she totally doesn't even respond. I mean, she just needs to make up her mind and tell me what she wants. She hasn't answered my last 3 phone calls, so maybe I should go over there and make sure everything's okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 3. You can call in and join us by dialing toll-free 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. Plus, we've got the Discord call-in lines. You can find those over at discord.lrn.fm. It's been Darryl and Conan in the studio, and now we're joined by somebody that's normally sitting in this chair. Ian, you're back.
Yeah, you were at a long meeting.
I am safe. Yes, thankfully, I wasn't really at any risk of danger.
Well, you were in a government building for way too long.
Bad things can happen to anybody who puts themselves near the government. That's definitely true.
Yeah, so we mentioned briefly at the beginning of the show, you went to some hearing on, it was like a committee hearing about whether or not to continue talking about possibly maybe making it illegal for people between the age of 18 and 20 years, 364 days from purchasing tobacco products in the city where we live.
Including vape and e-cigarettes.
Correct.
Right, because they consider everything that may or may not possibly have nicotine that you either light or press a button to heat up and you put near your mouth to be a tobacco product.
Right.
Yeah, and there was well over an hour of testimony from members of the public here to talk about whether they're in favor or against this proposal. And so, there's a lot of video that I captured that will eventually go up at freekeen.com on the YouTube channel there. But one of the first things I wanted to point out about this is that the proposal in front of the city councilor, the city council members, the wording was about to prohibit sale and possession.
Sales and possession.
Correct. Of tobacco and nicotine-related products. The woman who's sort of trying to move this ahead, the busybody.
Kate McNally, according to WMUR,
she works at the hospital.
One of the members of the Cheshire Coalition for Tobacco-Free Communities.
Right, a busybody group that, it's fine if you want to try to convince young people to not use tobacco.
Right, like I personally think that tobacco is disgusting, but I would never wind up saying it has to be illegal.
And again, vape, which is a completely different kind of thing because it's just nicotine, doesn't involve tobacco, doesn't involve smoke. But either way, this woman, she actually made it clear, crystal clear when she got up to testify that she was not requesting prohibition of possession. That because that's been one of the objections is that, you want the police to crack down, you want the police to arrest people, and she actually made it clear she was not proposing that. But what did the city council put forward at the end?
The complete opposite of what she wanted.
Well, they put.
Oh, I mean, how else are you going to enforce this? She knows what it would lead to, but she doesn't want to run her message
on her own.
Yeah, and to run her message through the mud, and she'll let someone else make that decision on how it's actually enforced.
Yeah. So I mean, but it was a good example of how if somebody has an idea they want the government to do,
right?
Which is what government is. It's a tool for this
to try to
this
control
person,
people.
this busybody. To throw her biases and her to regulate me on someone else's behalf.
But my point is, when you put forward an idea of something you want the government to do, then you're not the person who passes the law. You're not the person who enforces the law.
Even if you're a state representative, or you're a city councilor, or you're a state senator, or I guess, in theory, a governor could wind up making sure that exactly what he or she wanted went through the legislature, but
not if there was a veto override.
Right. That's why I said for the most part. But we've seen numerous times going before various legislative committees to where a state rep or a state senator introduces something, it winds up getting amended, and then they get told, this is no longer your bill.
Right.
This bill now belongs to the body.
Right.
And the body gets to decide what to do with this.
Ugly process. So it was just right out the gate, this woman's supposed intentions were subverted by the city council, but of course her intentions were bad in the beginning, which is of course to prohibit the sale and then they added to it possession of products.
So she never mentioned possession. That came on behalf of.
She specifically spoke against outlawing possession.
So the five count, and was it a full council committee?
There were only 4 who were attending, and one of the 4, the council chairperson, was late.
So this was a committee, not the full council.
Correct,
so all they could do is recommend to the full council to adopt.
And the full council, even if this committee declined, or not declined, but they shut it down, it could still go to full council and they can vote. They could vote in the affirmative.
That's true. And this, just for listeners who may not be familiar, this is Keene, New Hampshire. It's the southwestern corner of New Hampshire. It's close to Vermont. It's close to Massachusetts. It's close to New York. It's got a college in the town. This is one of the lefty kind of strongholds.
It's full of liberals, and the fact that this is even on the table is just mind-boggling to me.
What do you mean?
These people, they're all. Everyone's got a welcome here. Are we? What is the we welcome all signs on the front of people's yards?
Yeah, there's one here. Welcome.
They're all over the place because these people, they think that they're
hate has no home here.
Yeah.
They think they're progressive enough that this shouldn't be on the table, and yet this is a conservative move. This is something a conservative would do. They don't want change.
This is something that anybody who's an
conservatives
authoritarian
like to smoke cigarettes.
Well, now wait a minute. Liberals smoke cigarettes too. The woman who actually proposed this, in her testimony, she actually spoke twice. They let her speak in front of and at the end of everyone. So she got the first and the last word.
All right. So she's the prosecutor in the case.
She admitted she was a smoker, and in fact, while she was telling her story, she said that she didn't quit. When she was talking about herself in the past, starting at like age, whatever high school age she started, she made the statement and I don't remember the exact words, but I didn't quit. So she never really was clear. Is she still a smoker? It wasn't clear. She's in her 50s.
This is a classic case of projection. Yeah. You want to know someone's weaknesses. You want to know someone's shortcomings, or at least someone close to them, a family member. You want to know their shortcomings.
Look at what they're trying to control.
Ask them what law they want to pass.
Yeah.
This person is projecting her bad behavior on the rest of us. She's a damn hypocrite, and she needs to be good. Wow. I'm going to pull an Alex Jones. This pisses me off, man. These people are out there. Do
I need to keep my finger on the dump button here?
Almost. Let me read a quote from her. This is from the paper.
Sorry, it's a family show.
This is this lady. This is this hypocrite.
Are you going to wipe your face and then come out with a smile?
and it's not Alex Jones. I'm sorry. Bill Hicks. Anyways,
same person.
I'm not trying to take anyone's rights away, said Kate McNally of the Cheshire Coalition of Tobacco Free Communities. I'm trying to stop kids from starting. No, you're not. You're trying to take people's rights away. Unless she doesn't consider 18 to 20-year-olds
She considers them kids.
Yeah, they're kids. They're wards.
Not only that, there was actually, to that point, there was this 18-year-old high school student who apparently is on some governor's council.
All right.
Goes to, I think it was Keene High. Anyway, this young man who testified twice about how he doesn't think that 18-year-olds are prepared to make these kinds of decisions.
They're not the way they're being prepared these days. They're not. They might not be. Dude.
When we were 18, there were people that were 18 years old that weren't prepared to make decisions.
And you know what? And not being prepared kind of got us on our way a little faster. It prepared me to be prepared because I had to. Otherwise, there was no safety net.
But when you've got these wussies like this kid out there advocating, because they also brought up some little girl from the middle school, but this guy was, he's 18, he's this fresh, faced teen, clean cut dude, gets up there and is basically saying, yeah, I'm just a child, and all my friends, they can't handle these decisions. You need to take away our right to make decisions.
Decisions are hard.
All these people talking about rights, and I don't remember if this was him that said that, but there was somebody else who got up there and was like, all this talk about rights, this is our children, this is our health, this is our future. We need to go with what the doctors say. And so, of course, when I got up to
4 out of 5 doctors prefer red stripe or something.
So, of course, when I got up, I pointed out, doctors say a lot of things that we leave up to the individual. Should we also have the city of Keene go ahead and ban fast food? Should the city of Keene go ahead and have a cigarette, or not cigarette, but sugar ban? Soda ban or whatever. So, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
You gave them ideas? Oh, that's coming down the pike, man. Next month, it's gonna be soda. It's gonna be outlawed in Keene.
Outlaw Taco Bell.
Oh God. Thanks for giving them ideas, man.
Yeah, don't give them ideas. There are already towns around here that don't allow drive-throughs.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow,
Quaint little
crazy.
Dublin.
Wow, I had no idea about that.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live. Zen Cash is now Horizon, and Free Talk Live is giving away some Zen. I have selected a number between 1 and 999 to enter. Send an email with your transparent Zen address to Darryl at freetalklive.com. The subject line must be a number between 1 and 999. The person closest to the number will receive 1.75 Zen. Again, to enter, send an email with your Zen address to Darryl at freetalklive.com. Subject line being a number between 1 and 999.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can call us freely and talk live by dialing 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
Hey, I'm Ian.
And Conan.
Liberty.menu is where you can go if you are a business person and you want other people to know that you're a libertarian doing business and you want to get people in the door who also are liberty-minded folks. This is a way to do it. Over at Liberty.menu, you will expose yourself to, in a positive way, to other people who actually appreciate what you're doing from a political and philosophical perspective. In fact, if you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and who agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you ought to be on Liberty.menu. Maybe you're not a business person. Maybe you're just an events coordinator or of course that's kind of a business, or you're a digital content creator. They got listings for you too. So head over to Liberty.menu. You can use code FTL and you'll get a special Free Talk Live listener badge on your profile. Once again, that's Liberty.menu.
So we've been talking about this proposed ordinance here in Keene, New Hampshire, where we're broadcasting from. And this is not the only place where they're considering this, or some places have already passed this.
In New Hampshire, you mean?
At least one place in New Hampshire.
Yeah. And Massachusetts as a state, apparently.
The entire state of Hawaii wound up raising the minimum age for tobacco to 21 a couple of years ago.
That must have made it so that young people no longer have access to tobacco.
Of course.
In Hawaii. I mean, that's what they're saying is their goal here, is to stop kids, which they mean 18, 19, and 20-year-olds,
Right,
apparently.
They mean legal adults.
Right. Legal adults who can do all kinds of things legally, like sign contracts, join the military, do all kinds of things.
But you can't rent your own car until you're 25.
I heard they raised that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I'm not sure
I heard
about
that tonight. I don't know if it's true.
Conan, you work at a car rental place in addition to a bunch of other things.
I'm not usually in the office, but I think we've rented to 18-year-olds on numerous occasions. I didn't know that.
Unusual.
I didn't
Maybe
know
it's
that
a
was a
state law.
thing.
Is that a state law then? Because I know it used to be 25, and then
I had always been told that you were not allowed to rent a car until 25, and it could have been an insurance thing, but the insurance companies are heavily regulated by state governments. But the lady behind this, tobacco-free Cheshire Coalition for Tobacco-Free Communities, she told WMUR earlier today that she expected, quote, a number of people on both sides of the issue to turn out for the meeting. And Ian, you took a picture that you posted in a chat group, and I actually went through and I counted. I see 31 people in this photo.
Yes. Yep.
And then based on the angle of this picture and how I know this room to be set out, there are probably a handful of people other than the members on the committee that are also in this room. So about 36 people.
Yeah, I took that relatively close to the very beginning. So, I mean, a few more people came in after that, but yeah.
So about 36 people showed up for this meeting, which is surprising because, a lot of times
maybe
you're lucky to get 3 people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is an issue that people feel strongly about. It's unfortunate that, of course, it was about 50-50, I would say, roughly. I mean, maybe a little bit more on the anti-side as far as people wanting to stop this ordinance from being passed, to stop the outlawing of the possession and the sale of tobacco and nicotine-related products in the city of Keene, because there's all kinds of reasons not to do this. There, of course, are the practical reasons, which the industry groups brought up, which is, hey, you're just going to draw sales outside of Keene, you're going to send them to Swansea.
Yeah, and they might have been drinking when they go to Swansea, so they leave their dorm rooms. They need cigarettes, and they end up killing somebody.
Right. So
thanks, legislators.
Just did some quick searching here, and according to tobaccofreekids.org, 6 states, California, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Oregon, Hawaii, and Maine, have raised the minimum age to 21.
Wow.
They also say 350 municipalities, including New York City, Chicago, San Antonio, Boston, Cleveland, Minneapolis, and both Kansas cities, the one in Kansas and the one in Missouri.
So, I mean, there's a lot I could say about this. It's hard to really kind of know where to start. Feel free to ask any questions you might have.
So they grew the original proposal, the original resolution, and they grew it. They added to it.
So either they misunderstood what the woman had originally requested,
or they already came to the shop knowing what they had in mind. They probably already had a plan on what they would add to this resolution.
I think it's likely that the city councilors had already had their mind made up on this particular matter, as is so typical with politicians. One councilor claimed he was 50-50 on the issue, and he had got on to social media to ask people on social media what they thought, and they were 50-50. They were split, and he, claims that he's there to do the bidding of the people, and this whole, pat myself on the back.
Well, the claim is that they represent their constituents.
Yeah, but that's not actually true, because
that's why I said the claim.
Yeah, all you can really do is represent yourself, because your constituents don't agree. But nonetheless, he tried to pat himself on the back as this wonderful politician who's really in touch with his constituents, and ultimately he ended up supporting the measure to prohibit the use of tobacco and nicotine-related products and the sale of them under the age of 21. And so did the other people on the panel, with the exception of one city councilor. Only one person voted to not move forward with this. And I suspect what they're going to do here is they're going to put this to the full city council for their meeting next week. They will likely vote in favor of it. That's my prediction. This is Keene. It's an authoritarian hellhole in New Hampshire.
Right.
But they're going to likely move forward, in which case they will be voting on the proposal to send this to the city and have the city write up an ordinance.
Right.
So then the city will write the ordinance, the proposed ordinance, then it goes back to the committee for another public hearing, and then it will presumably move to the full
Darryl,
council.
is this something that the city of Keene can get away with? Can they write this ordinance?
Unfortunately, they can.
According to the city attorney's interpretation, they can.
I actually pulled up the statute because when I first heard the city attorney said that they can, I was like, the city attorney is also kind of a jackass.
Yeah.
And
kind of incompetent on several
right. So I actually found the statute, and the statute in question says that nothing in this section shall preclude a municipality from setting a different age.
And in New Hampshire, for people that don't know, it's not a home rule state, as it is called.
So they can municipalities can only do what they are specifically authorized to do.
Well, in theory, although we certainly know that the city of Keene has broken from that particular set of supposed rules, with the ban that they passed on synthetic drugs years ago, where the city attorney actually told them publicly.
You can't do this, but
that this is probably going to be challengeable in court. If somebody challenges this, we're likely going to have it overturned.
Right.
And the council just went right ahead and did it anyway. Because how many people, and this is the point I made outside of this, because we were outside afterwards, and some of the vape folks who were there, because it was like the Liberty people and then the vape people who were testifying against this, and they were asking questions about, what can the cops do? Can they, mess with you if they just see you using a vape on the side of the street?
Can they ask for ID?
Right, and that's what I said. I said they can absolutely approach you and do that. And I said it may even be considered probable cause. And Chris, our Friday night host, is like, well, no, it wouldn't be. The only way it wouldn't be is if you took it to court. and challenged it. And I said, how many 18-year-olds do you know who can afford an attorney?
Very few. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733.
Ever wonder how Bitcoin and Ethereum were created? Vercel Media has helped hundreds of companies and individuals make their own cryptocurrency. Decentralized blockchain solutions are making the world more transparent and giving power back to the people. Vercel Media has helped companies raise tens of millions in the past year alone, structuring and marketing ICOs to the thirsty crypto public worldwide. Don't miss the cryptocurrency revolution. Visit vercelmedia.com, VERCEL media.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
If you're looking for work, or even if you're not, here's an innocent mistake you really want to avoid. Never return calls before listening to your voicemail. Your wireless phone sends calls you didn't answer into voicemail, and it shows you phone numbers for calls you missed. Important, don't call back callers you missed until you have first listened to your messages. Otherwise, you frustrate people who bothered to leave messages by asking them to repeat a message they just left as your voicemail greeting instructed them to. If you're a job applicant, this alone could be a deal killer. And even if you're not, there are few things you can convey to someone that are as fundamentally maddening as, "I didn't hear you." With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Ian.
And Conan.
And want to invite you, if you like the show, to head over to amp.freetalklive.com. AMP is the amplifier program. It stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And your $5 per month, pooled with other people's $5 or more dollars per month, allow us to do those things. Advertise, market, and promote the show specifically to program directors of broadcast radio stations, because they're the people that make the decisions to add us to the airwaves. We're already on, right at 190 stations, coast to coast, and we can be on a lot more with your help. And again, amp.freetalklive.com. And we've got special thank you to Vince, who is a gold amplifier. What level is that? I realize that gold is higher than silver and lower than platinum.
Correct.
So he's giving at least $10 per month.
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you, Vince. And
has
also,
for a long time, by the way.
Yeah, so we're starting at, we're about 3-4 weeks into thanking, and we started at the beginning.
We did. Well,
so
roughly,
the beginning of here's how long people have been on.
Yeah.
So, some have come and gone, but based on, when they first signed up,
Correct.
I think. And also, thanks Slim as well. He wasn't marked off.
Night. All right.
Well, he wasn't marked off last night. Figured go ahead and knock it out.
All right.
So Slim and Vince, thank both of you.
Hopefully they don't feel less special because we did two names in one night.
If you feel less special, send me an email and I will send a personalized apology response.
Our amplifiers are pretty generous folks and pretty reasonable folks too. So thanks.
Yeah. So thank you
they're fine
both. Let's. I know there's more that can be said about this tobacco thing, but let's go to the Discord call-in line. We've got David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Go ahead with your thoughts.
I hear music.
There's no music. There is no music.
There's no music, but
maybe in your head.
Yeah, it could be in your head. Generally, if there's music and you mention the music, I thank you for your call and dump you. But go ahead with a thought.
There's a lot of things going on in my head. Yes, and speaking of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and exposing yourself to other people. You had I have a story to corroborate your Javelina narrative, but earlier you had a.
Were you exposing yourself to the Javelinas?
I was, and I'll tell you about it.
That's not a smart idea.
Yeah, it gets real interesting real fast. I'll tell you in a second. But that salacious.
No, go ahead and tell us now. Since we're talking about it, go ahead and tell us about exposing yourself to the Javelinas.
What is a Javelina?
It's kind of a feral pig.
Oh, okay.
And they just run around wild in the desert Southwest.
All right, gotcha.
They're really cute.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here.
Yeah, they are. And that nasty white substance, fluid leaking pipe-like suspicious package that might blow up in someone's face.
Yep.
I'll tell you about that afterward then. But yeah, Javelina. So you guys are both right. I lived in Arizona, and in fact, you can look on Google Earth, 492 Siesta Street in Clarkdale, Arizona, right on the Verde River, in the desert. And I used to dump my table. I was living off the grid there as well, and I used to dump my table scraps. And there was a little bit of a royal like cutout in the yard, about 50 yards out or so. And this wasn't open desert right there, because it was right next to the river, so it was kind of green and lush. And you could see probably, 50, 60 feet through the brush. But I walk up to the edge of this pit to throw my potato peelings in on that day. Right when I get to the edge of the pit, I look down and there's a mama javelina and a daddy javelina and a bunch of baby little piggy javelinas. And the dad, you're still with me, right?
We're right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And the dad looks up at me and he snorts. And he comes. He had to run away from me first to get around the edge of the ditch bank. So he runs down the length of the ditch and then makes a U-turn and he starts charging me. And he's coming right at me. So I turn and I start running as fast as I can. And I get about, I run for about 8 seconds or so. And then in my head, the narration is going, wait just a damn minute. This is my yard. And so I slam on the brakes and I wheel and I turn on him, and he's got this really surprised look on his face, and he skids all four of his hooves into the ground, and he waits for my next move. He's looking kind of scared, and then I turn and I charge him, and I run at him, and he does that hoo, 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 as he's running away, and I chase him away into the woods, and then as soon as I realized he was running away from me, I stopped. And when I stopped, he stopped and looked back at me. And then from that point forward, we were buddies. He walked up to me and he brought his wife and his babies over to my front door and hung out there. And then every day after that, they would come up to the door and hang out.
You know, there's something to be said for that. You know, in not just in the pig world, but also in the human world. I have, when I've stood up in court against, you know, tyranny or whatever, as many of us have, I feel like it earns you their respect. That's not the reason I do it.
Right.
But I feel like, you know, the relationship I have with Judge Burke today is different than what it would have been had I been cowering in front of him the entire time. I've seen this happen.
Yeah, he that's what he's used to.
Right.
You know, 97% of the individuals that he deals with on a daily basis have made him into the bully that he might not have been when he started that position. But I think that it has most definitely turned him in that. And all of a sudden he comes up against another opponent, you know, like yourself, who is not going to take no for an answer and is going to make him think about the things that all the decisions that he's been making over the years.
I don't know if he thought about it, but maybe I don't know.
And by the way, the pig story, I was all good to go until everyone was getting together for afternoon get-togethers.
And David, thank you for the call. And yeah, the Javelinas, they're so cute, and that's one of the...
They're not that cute.
In person, they are. That's one of the things that I do miss about Sedona is just waking up in the morning, walking outside, and seeing dozens of Javelinas running through the yard.
All I see is bacon.
Are they? Is it any good for bacon?
No.
I don't know why not.
I don't know either.
I mean, people eat dogs, Darryl.
Some people do eat dogs, yes. Some people also eat rats. That doesn't mean that I want to necessarily
That's what
eat
these
a
look
rat.
Like. They look like big rats.
Big fat rats.
I think they're closer related to some kind of rodent than they are to a pig. Let's head back to the Discord where we've got Gene calling in. Gene, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey guys, I'm going to switch gears, go back to Kavanaugh. You know, that I'd been thinking that this guy, you know, I really didn't care too much about Kavanaugh one way or the other. And but I thought it was pretty unfair the way he was being treated. But I tell you, this last accuser has kind of changed my mind on this Kavanaugh guy. I think he's a pretty horrible guy.
What's the latest accusation? I have not heard.
Yeah, this gal, she was a nun in a nunnery, and Kavanaugh came in with this group of space aliens, and they proceeded to anally probe every nun there. I mean, this is a sick puppy. We can't let somebody like that go into the Supreme Court. Come on, guys. This is enough.
When you say nunnery, do you mean brothel? Because that's what Shakespeare meant when he used the term.
No, I mean the Catholic nuns, the ones that have the funny little thing on their head.
What's the real accusation?
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with Eugene. The real, by the way, I did look it up, and according to this latest accuser,
this is number 2. Accuser number 2.
This is number 3.
3. Okay.
They attended the same parties where there was train raping taking place.
Train raping? Is that like a gang rape?
Gang rape.
Okay.
In the adjoining rooms.
Oh my!
And they did have space aliens there, anally probing them as well. So, you know, it was quite a party.
So wait, so this has gone from an allegation about a woman, because the first allegation was a woman who said she was at a party with this Kavanaugh guy, who's like this judge character that's trying to be appointed to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, groped her and pushed her up against the wall.
The claim was he put her up against put her on a bed and tried to take her clothes off, but failed because his buddy tried to get on the bed and that somehow knocked into him, and then she managed to escape. That was the claim there.
That's the first.
So now it's gone to gang rape.
This is the third accuser, correct?
And there was a headline. He denies that. Gene, hold the line. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Hey guys, it's Scott Bauer here, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. Are you looking for a super hot stock tip? Here at Prosper, we are always looking for exciting opportunities in the markets. And right now, all my students are salivating over this stock we are watching. In fact, I've got this hot stock written down right here, and I'm about to text it to you for free. I just need to know where to send it. Simply text HOT to 48542, and I'll text it to you instantly. How do I know this stock is so hot? Well, I'm a former CBOE market maker for Amazon Options, former vice president of Goldman Sachs, and I have over 25 years of professional trading experience. I'm telling you, this stock is hot. But be warned, the stock may move soon, so you need to claim it before it does. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Text HOT to 48542, and I'll text you this hot stock instantly. Message and data rates may apply.
Free Talk Live.
I don't believe in homosexuality.
Should homosexuality be outlawed, Rita?
I think not only homosexuality, but prostitution and fornication.
Fornication?
Are you going to pass laws against people masturbating?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Would you pass laws against people masturbating, ma'am?
I'm very much offended that you would ask me such a question.
What, you can't answer a simple question?
Would you pass a law against people masturbating?
Sir, I
mean, you want to pass laws against two men having sex. I'm just asking you a question.
She said she wanted to pass law against fornication. That's just anybody having sex.
Anybody having sex.
Okay, Rita, let's say I have a fiancé and you overheard us having sex. Would you report us to the cops if there was a law against fornication?
You darn right, sir.
Yeah? How dare you?
How dare
Who do you think you are?
How dare you, sir? Who do you
How
think
dare
you
I
are?
have sex
Such
with
a
a
moral
consenting
reprobate?
adult?
On my own property?
You're a moral reprobate, and you're one of the ones who are helping to disintegrate this country.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
Porcupine Real Estate.
Live. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now to 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Darryl.
And Ian.
And Conan.
And you've heard us talk about Zencash previously. Well, they've rebranded. They are now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. H-O-R-I-Z-E-N. Horizon.global. Let's head back to Gene, the Christian anarchist, calling in on the Discord. Now, Gene, you called to talk about this Brett Kavanaugh character who is the nominee for the vacant Supreme Court seat. And apparently the vote in the Senate is happening, I think, at the end of this week. What are your thoughts on, do you think he will actually wind up getting the nomination?
Well, I think if they've got any guts, if these people actually believe in anything, that they'll just go ahead and confirm the guy. I mean, he's just one of the goons, and he's if you don't put that goon in, you're going to have another goon in. But I made up the story about the nuns and the space aliens and the anal probes to make a point, and that is that they just keep escalating these stories. This latest one about pulling a train. I mean, how much more nonsense do they have to put out there before people see that this is nothing but a witch hunt and people are making up stories or having memories implanted in their heads or whatever? It's obviously, it's so obvious now. It might as well be space aliens and anal probes, because it can't get much crazier.
Well, I mean, this is a part of the derangement syndrome where they will go so far that the illness, it is a disease, and it's so far spreading within their daily lives that they will believe anything that's put in front of them, as long as it's somehow anti-Trump. And this is definitely anti-Trump. This is anti-Trump written all over it, or anti-abortion, or whatever floats their boat today.
Well, I guess it would be anti-Trump in that it's opposing his nominee to the court, but the other nominee that he had before the court, they didn't have this kind of circus.
Yeah, if all I'm saying is if Trump wanted to get this guy in, he shouldn't have nominated him. He should have just let him filter in through, let Congress nominate him, and it had nothing to do with it.
Congress doesn't nominate judges.
I'm saying they give the okay at the end, though, right?
The president nominates, and then the Senate gives an up or a down.
Correct. That's what I was thinking.
And he nominated, and then prior to the Senate having their hearings that they have before giving the up or down, these allegations came out. So I'm curious.
And continue to come out.
Right. But I'm curious. You say that this is anti-Trump, and Gene, I'm not sure if you have more to add. You're saying that this is anti-Trump, but I'm curious why there wasn't also anti-Trump with Merrick Garland.
Not familiar.
Wasn't that the other guy or was that the one that Obama nominated?
I don't know, dude. I don't pay close attention to all these scumbags.
Whoever the earlier one was.
I thought this was the first one.
No.
Look, it wouldn't surprise me if the dude was involved in a gang rape, but that's not even what they're alleging here. Aren't they saying, isn't this person...
He was in the building during a gang rape. He was there. He wasn't watching. He wasn't even in the room. He was just in the building.
But like I'm saying, I mean,
I'm sure Elvis was there too.
He's a politician, he's a judge, he's a scumbag. I mean, really, all this hullabaloo over, is he going to get approved or not? Is he going to get approved? These people are arguing, there's controversy. Well, so what? Whether he gets approved or not, we know that if he's not approved, whoever the next jackball is going to be just as bad.
Right.
He's going to be another judge. He's going to be a federal judge. If you're a federal judge, you're probably not somebody that cares about freedom.
Right.
Neil Gorsuch.
You're already involved in locking people up for peaceful action.
Right.
No matter what.
So, I mean, just color me mostly unconcerned about all this, because if this guy gets booted, then the next person's going to be controversial because of X, Y, or Z, and then finally they're going to put one of them in, and then the news media will move on.
Darryl,
I it at all.
Go ahead.
But I'm very amused at this whole process and how all these stories keep just popping up, and they're getting more and more unbelievable with each generation of news stories. It's crazy. It's a psychological exercise, I guess. It's very unusual to watch this, and it's kind of scary when you think about it. When you think about how far people will go in their own psyche in order to press their agenda forward. It's quite scary to me.
Yeah. Gene, thank you for the call. So it was Neil Gorsuch that was the first Trump appointee, was approved on April 10th, 2017. Merrick Garland was the person that Obama nominated that the Senate never took action on, because the claim is, we can't do this in a presidential election year.
Yeah, Darryl, I mentioned at the beginning of the show what I felt was really going on here. This is a move by the powers that be that aren't left or right. They are the string pullers. They are the puppet masters.
Deep state.
This has nothing to do with the Me Too movement. This has nothing to do with the Democrats, nothing to do with the Republicans. This is all about moving changing the spectacle, changing the spotlight from what is actually the issue, and that Kavanaugh is not a good person. They are not asking the correct questions, which is, why were you a part of why were you a part and instrumental in writing the Patriot Act? Why, what are your feelings, and why did you make that decision on metadata collection by the NSA that violates the Fourth Amendment? No, they're not asking any of those questions. They're asking about bull crap from 40 years ago that doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's what it's really about. This is a scam.
Right. And SCOTUS blog has a fairly lengthy article about Judge Kavanaugh and the Fourth Amendment, to where
he doesn't like it.
He thinks that the Fourth Amendment gets it gets in the way of spying on people.
Yeah.
He said that. That's the ruling that he came down. He says it's perfectly legal. It does not violate the Fourth Amendment to collect data, for the NSA to collect data via phone calls on the sheeple.
Yeah.
It's perfectly okay. To prevent terrorism.
Quote, telephone metadata serves a critically important special need preventing terrorist attacks on these United States. That critical national security need outweighs the impact on privacy occasioned by this program.
Just like the local bureaucrats are saying that protecting children outweighs anybody's rights.
Yep.
No,
she's not trying to take your rights, Ian. She just doesn't want you
based on
to
what
make
you were
a decision.
Saying, they're not taking anybody's rights. They're protecting them. Wait, how is somebody between the age of 18 and 20 not having
they
rights
didn't bother to try to make that statement.
Upon?
That statement was never made tonight during the entire hour-plus testimony. In fact, rights were impugned by people who spoke tonight. Some of the people who were in favor of the smoking ban here that would affect people under the age of 21.
Here's a brilliant idea.
Screw your rights. The children.
Here's an idea, and I wish I would have had this idea sooner. Find somebody that the Keene City Council does not know to show up and say, 21? Why so low? If we really want to keep people from dying of lung cancer, we should make it 105.
Outlaw it altogether, just outright.
There were people who suggested
can't outlaw
that.
it outright. State won't allow that.
But you can't
set
change
the age at
105.
105.
All right, you know what? I wish I would have known.
The Legos are fun for people from the age of 8 to 98, so set it at 99.
That point was made.
This is coming back. This is coming back, so you'll have that opportunity.
You could. The point was
they know
made.
Me.
Well, right. But the point was made not by people who were masquerading. You're talking about somebody who should take on the sort of aura of a statist.
The arch statist.
Yeah, and actually stay in character the whole time and just come in there and go to the max with absurdity. Yeah. I love the idea.
Find some kind of old, a really old person.
Right.
To go in and, play the character of, the get off my lawn guy of these dang whippersnappers at 21 wanting to smoke. Back in my day.
I love that. I love
had
it.
to be 107 to buy a tobacco cigarette.
And now look, my Social Security check is lower than it could be because I'm having to pay for these damn kids' health care.
Well, that's the kind of thing that you can do when you actually have more than a handful of activists in an area. And we've got more than a handful here in Keene. But because, some people are sick, some people are working or whatever, we probably could have had 2 to 3 times as many people
wanted to go actually
turn out tonight, but people are busy, and so we did have several of libertarians did show up, which is good, and so we need more people. I mean, it's just a fact. We need more people to move to New Hampshire. If you're a libertarian, if you're a voluntarist, if you're a liberty-loving anarchist, it doesn't have to be Keene. There's a lot of cool places you can move, a lot of places where it's nowhere near as bad of a government here. So go to 101reasonsfilm.com to learn 101 reasons why you should, if you're a libertarian, move to New Hampshire.
And we're out of time for tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow, and we are always online at freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as